Willing to stretch the law. Fox News contributor and former Oversight Committee Chair Jason Chaffetz. He's the author of the great new book, The Puppeteers, The People Who Control America. He joins us now, one of the top-selling books in the country. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Might that be why Jack Smith was picked by Merrick Garland? Because he's willing to stretch the law and find a case, even if there isn't one there.
He was. He's obviously a real political partisan, somebody who's willing to, at all costs, go after it. My experience, my interaction from afar was when he was involved in the Lois Lerner case. At the time, he was the head of the Public Integrity Office. You have an election crime office who went and looked at Lois Lerner. Remember, they were capturing all this information and targeting conservative groups.
Yes, the IRS. Yeah.
Yes, the IRS scandal. And there's a New York Times story. And so what does Jack Smith do? He reads the New York Times, makes a decision in his head. Hey, let's go prosecute these people. And so even the election crimes people, the Department of Justice, saying, no, there's nothing here. You should not do that. He moves forward anyway. And as Jim Jordan, the now chairman of the Judiciary Committee, is looking at this saying, why is this guy? He took over 1.1 million documents from the IRS into the Department of Justice on a case where they were targeting Republicans. Jim Jordan wants a special prosecutor to go look at what was happening at the IRS and Jack Smith. This is the kind of background that this guy has. He's a political hack. He does take on these cases. But in the case of Governor McDonnell, I mean, he was the Supreme Court. How often do they get together 9-0 and say, you overstepped your bounds? Your legal theory was totally wrong. And that case was overturned. Meanwhile, destroyed the life of Governor McDonnell.
Do you see a similar possibility happening with the Trump case, that when you look at the indictments that have been brought, later on a court will look at this and say, you know, at best, you're wrong. At worst, you're selectively enforcing laws?
Jack Smith's reputation is as a political viper, somebody who is willing to look at it through a totally partisan lens. I look at those counts. I'm not an attorney, 37 counts, but 31 of them are about the possession of documents in Donald Trump's possession. I look at it and say, of course a former president has those types of documents. All the former presidents probably have documents like that. And so it gets mischaracterized as mishandling of classified information. It doesn't say that in the indictments. That's not what it says. So I think that the president has a strong case. Some of the issues where he's talking about certain issues and did he obstruct, those are, I don't have enough clarity on those. Sure. But I think the first 31 counts, I just don't understand where he thinks he has a case.
Also, big difference between classified documents and documents with classified markings and all of that.
And military stuff. And that could have been one indictment, but I think it shows his intent. Yeah. Oh, let's broaden this and say 37, make it sound really bad. That could have been just one simple charge. It
seems they knew exactly who their loyal soldier would be in that case, and it's Jack Smith. By the way, if you want to hear more from Jason, he's going to be on the big weekend show at 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight with a great lineup. And again, the book is The Puppeteers, The People Who Control America. So you wonder who's behind there, pulling all the strings? Jason will let you know. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.